Books to make you laugh tonight on Small Home Comforts. Hello, welcome to Small Home Comforts. I am Beth, and I am here in my book corner to have a Thursday evening bookish chat with you tonight. So I am trying to get the technology all set here. So give me a minute as I get it all set up. All right. I think we are good to go. So welcome. Nice to have you here this evening. As you know, I'm here in my book corner per usual on Thursday nights, ready to settle in for a cozy bookish chat. Tonight, does everybody have their hot tea? Tonight, let's see. I'm going to bring up the comments here on a separate page. Okay, here we go. Let me know in the comments what you're drinking, what kind of tea you're drinking tonight, or if you have something else, some other warm beverage or cold beverage, I guess, depending on where you are. It is chilly here tonight. I was just outside for a little bit, and so I've got hot tea because you can probably even see my nose is a little bit red because it's cold outside. It was a beautiful day. But it's time for hot tea. So I, of course, had to have the tea from the spring book box. So I am drinking the London Fog tea from Megan's Pantry. I don't know if you can see it there. There we go. And London Fog has a little bit of lavender, a little bit of Earl Grey, so bergamot, and there is some vanilla in this one too. So it's delicious. Let me know. Let's see. I'm looking to see if there's any. Oops, sorry, my dog is walking around. He just bumped the camera a little bit. Sorry about that. Real life right here in the book corners. So let's take a sip of tea. Tell me you're here in the comments. I'd love to say hello. Nice and warm. It's the perfect temperature. So tonight I thought that we could talk about books to make you laugh. I love to have books that, you can kind of like giggle over as you are reading them. And so I have a stack here that I thought I would share with you tonight to kind of, lighten the mood when you need a little bit of lightness in your life. So the first one, unfortunately, I do not have a copy of the one book that I want to talk about, but I do have a book by that author. And so I am going to recommend P.G. Wodehouse because his books are like zany and crazy and just laugh out loud funny. The one that I have here with me is Joy in the Morning. Because that is the one that I have on my shelf. But the one that I really wanted to talk about is actually called Spring Fever, which I thought, oh, well, that's kind of appropriate for the time of year. And Spring Fever was published in 1948. And I have to look at the names because I have a hard time remembering the names in that one. But it's kind of a comedy of errors. There is a character named Stanwood. He's the football-loving, playing son of like an American millionaire, and he wants to marry this character called Eileen. And his father is like, no. Stanwood is his name. Stanwood loves Eileen, and he wants to marry her. And his dad is like, no, that's not what I want. And so he sends his son Stanwood off to London. Unbeknownst to him, Eileen is in London. I think she's an actress or something. And she's like on tour in London. And so they are able to meet up there. Unbeknownst to the father. But when the father finds out, he's like, Stanwood, you need to go and go out to the country and visit Lord Shortlands. You have to stay with Lord Shortlands, who they all call Shorty. So he has to go and stay with Shorty. And in the meantime, he has met some other man in London who is enamored with Shorty's daughter, Terry. And his name is Mike. And so Mike says, listen, Stanwood, I will take your place. I will pretend that I'm Stanwood. And because these people out in the country have never seen your face before. And, I'll take your place so that you can be here with Eileen and I can go and see Terry, who I love. And so they do like a little switcheroo there. And then so Mike goes out to Shorty's, Lord Shortwood, or Shortlands, I'm sorry, country house, or and they and hilarity ensues because Lord Shortlands is in love with his cook, and his cook won't marry him unless he can come up with like 200 pounds so that she can buy a pub. And he doesn't have 200 pounds because even though he's a lord, he's like short of cash. And then he has like a rival in his butler or something. And it's just, I mean, it's just highly improbable, absolutely hilarious. It's called Spring Fever. And it's just, I mean, it's just uproarious, and definitely makes you want to laugh while you were reading it. So so that was the first one that I wanted to tell you about. I went to the library today to get it, and it was already checked out because I wanted to show you the cover, but unfortunately it was already checked out. So I'm not able to show you the cover, but Spring Fever by P.G. Wodehouse is the one that I was talking about with that one. So have you guys ever read that one or anything by P.G. Wodehouse that you have liked? Of course, Jeeves, Wooster and Jeeves is the classic. And I think many people have read those writings. But I like to, kind of try to find some of the ones that are kind of, like one, what do they call it? Like a single title, not a series title. And so I thought, anyway, that Spring Fever was kind of a funny one. So that was the first one. I'm looking over here for comments, but I don't see any comments. So I hope I'm not missing your comments, because I'd love to say hello if you are here. Okay, moving on to my next book. This one is a little bit different than P.G. Wodehouse. And this one also made me giggle when I read it. And this one is The Diary of a Provincial Lady. This one is by E.M. Delafield. And this one was published in 1930. So it's kind of like a Depression era. I'm going to move my notes here a little bit to make sure I'm telling you the right thing. A Depression era domestic fiction kind of. So it's the diary of a lady who she's unnamed. So this character never has any, we never find out her name, but basically she's writing entries in her diary, and she's living like in middle-class England, and she during like the Depression era, and she is kind of trying to keep up appearances. She has I don't know if it's a neighbor or a friend, somebody who lives close by called Lady Box. And Lady Box is always telling her like the best way to do things. So like the writer of the diary will say, oh, she's gonna plant some bulbs or something. I think like in November, I think it's where it starts with November 7th, plant indoor bulbs. Just as I am in the middle of them, Lady Box calls. I say, untruthfully, how nice to see her, and beg her to sit down while I just finish the bulbs. Lady B makes determined attempt to sit down in armchair where I have already placed 2 bulb bowls, and the bag of charcoal, is headed off just in time and takes the sofa. Do I know, she asks, how very late it is for indoor bulbs? So, and it kind of goes on like this. So Lady Box is going to tell her what to do. And she's just trying to kind of like keep up with all the things. She is, always in horror of the bank manager because she needs more money and he doesn't want to give it to her. I guess her account is short or something. And it's just kind of funny, but completely different kind of funny than P.G. Wodehouse. So P.G. Wodehouse is kind of like uproariously, like highly improbable funny. And this is like a dry, witty humor. When I was reading it for the first time, I remember saying to my husband, this is so funny, but I can't explain exactly like how it is. It just makes you giggle. And he was like, it's dry English humor. It was. And I love dry English humor, and it's so funny. So I highly recommend this one. And I thought this was just my friend found this this cover for me. It's like a dust jacket, but it's the same thing inside. This one just has the nice colors on it. And I just thought, how pretty is that book? So anyway, domestic fiction, makes you giggle, dry humor. So fun. I highly recommend that one. So, oh, I see Kelly is here. Hello, Kelly. I can see you there. Nice to see you. The way that I have this new technology, I can't, unless you make a comment, I can't necessarily see that you're here. So I would love to say hi to you by name. So just say hi in the comments if you'd like, and I would gonna give you a little shout out because I'll be so happy to see that you're here. Oh, I know. The other thing that when I was looking up some of this, some of the publication dates and that, this is what, I don't know if you guys ever read The Guardian. It was an online article, and I'm going to quote from it so that a little bit more information on this diver Provincial lady. In the late 1920s, the editor, and they're talking about the editor of Time and Tide, which was a publication at the time, told her, meaning E.M. Delafield, that she was after some light middles, vaguely comic pieces to run on the center pages to balance all the seriousness elsewhere. So that kind of gives you an idea of how it's a little bit more like gentle, quiet, dry, witty humor. Just something kind of fun. So anyway, that was the next one that I had in my pile. Next on my pile is, and this is probably not going to come as a surprise to you because I've talked about this one before, but All Creatures Great and Small. You guys, when I read this book, there were some passages in here that I was literally laughing out loud. So funny. James Herriot kind of, he almost is like a self-deprecating humor. He also tells really charming stories of not only kind of the, because when you're a vet, which, James Herriot is, you kind of just have to go with what's going on with the animals, right? And so he has so many humorous stories about, the kind of situations that he was in, kind of like a situational comedy. The people that he, serves in Yorkshire, and just so funny. The sense of humor, he kind of laughs at himself. So it's a situational and self-deprecating humor in this one. And it just kind of, it's kind of episodic, where he just kind of recounts the places that he goes, the farmers that he visits, the animals that he sees. It's warm, it's charming, and just really funny. So funny, hilarious. I was really surprised when I read it. I wasn't expecting to laugh out loud, and I totally did. So highly, highly recommend that one. This is actually the first in a series. I think originally there were eight titles. And this is two of the titles, but they've put them together into All Creatures Great and Small. And now you can buy them as, I think, five volumes. So originally 8 titles, now in 5 volumes with these with these editions. And they're just so fun. I have not read past these these I guess are 2 together, but it's called All Creatures Great and Small, just one. And I've read this one, and I would like to read more. The warm and joyful memoirs of the world's most beloved animal doctor. I've been watching the new series as well, and really enjoying that. The whole family really enjoys that. And so, yeah, I would like to read more of those ones. Those are on my TBR. All right. The next one I'm just going to mention because I've talked about it already this year, but I can't let a list of books to make you laugh go by without mentioning Georgette Heyer's The Corinthian. I'm not going to go into detail about it only because I've already told you about it. I know. And I've written a whole blog post on it. So if you want to hear my thoughts on this particular one, you can go to my blog, smallhomecomforts.com, and see my thoughts. But I had to mention it because it's like a screwball comedy from the, obviously this is a Regency romance. But if you ever are interested in screwball comedies from the golden age of Hollywood, that is what this book reminded me of. And it's just so funny. so funny. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because I know I've talked about that one probably a lot, but I just really enjoyed it this year. And I couldn't let it go by without being said on this one of books to make you laugh, because that one made me laugh. Okay, last but not least, I have one that I am excited to share with you. So I bought this book when I was in college. I bought it used, and I was looking for something funny, something to make me laugh, something to just kind of, with studying, something totally different than studying. And this is what I found in the college bookstore, or I mean, library. They were having like a used book sale at the library. And this is what I found. And it is called Kids Say the Darndest Things. And this is by Art Linkletter. It was published in 1957. And it is illustrated by Charles Schulz. Can you see these illustrations? Art Linkletter was a radio and TV show host, and he had a program called House Party, I think it was called. Let me look at it here and see. I'm pretty sure it was called House Party. Yes. Where he interviewed youngsters, children, and had them, had conversations with them. So funny. And this was, I know Bill Cosby had Kids Say the Darndest Things or something like that more recently, but this was the original. Art Linkletter was the original. And this is what he writes in the foreword. Why are the thoughts of children so delightful to us grown-ups? I think it's because of the vast gulf between their world and ours. Where we adults see the tired old commonplace of everyday life, these babes see a freshness, a wonderland waiting to be explored. They are wiser than we in a way, because we have forgotten the magic of things, the wonder all around us. That's just a little snippet from the foreword of Kids Say the Darndest Things. But this is just like a charming little compilations of anecdotes from his show, from his interviews with children, from his like interactions with young people. It's just so it's just so funny. Like here, one kid had a secret from his folks, but he told me, I'm keeping a hen under my bed in a box. And he says back to him, what's it doing under there? And the child replies, well, I hope it's going to lay an egg, but so far, every time it gets ready to lay an egg, it runs over to the neighbor's yard and lays it there. Just such goofy things that children say. So delightful, so fresh, so funny. Art Linkletter was very skilled at being able to draw out some of the things from these kids. But I want to show you, this was, like I said, illustrated by Charles Schulz. But I want to show you the very dilapidated, dust jacket from this. So it's coming apart. I actually had to take it off and put it inside the book because it is literally like falling apart when I found it. But look at how falling apart it is. But this was the original dust jacket from the book. And obviously I bought it used, very much used. And it says, quips, slips, and shockers inspired by Art Linkletter on his famous House Party program, illustrated by Charles M. Schulz, and there's a foreword by Walt Disney. And then in the back, his, the blurbs where they recommend the book, or famous people who have recommended it, or other authors. Listen to the people who have recommended this book. Bob Hope, Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, Jack Benny, and Bob Cummings. If you are at all interested in old Hollywood, those names will, and old radio shows and TV shows, those names will obviously ring a bell for you. But I'll show you some of here's Bob Hope and Lucy and Desi and Jack Benny here, and Robert. It says Bob Cummings, but in movies he's usually billed as Robert Cummings. And it's just kind of a treasure that I found when I was in college, and obviously was well loved before. This is Art Linkletter here. This was this was the inside of the book. So little treasure I thought that I'd share with you. But this book, I'm going to slip this this falling apart dust jacket right back in the book. But this book, I just remember bringing like a lot of lightheartedness when I was hard at studies, or, anytime you're in need of a laugh. This one was a good one. So, little treasure from my bookshelves I thought I would share with you. All right, book friends, that is all. I have usually, we end with what we're reading now. And of course, well, I did just finish my Georgette Heyer Death in the Stocks, which I don't have here to show you because I'm done with it and I'm working on a blog post for that, which will be coming next week, I think. But right now, of course, I am rereading the Spring Book Box Listening Valley. So working on all of the kind of like discussion ideas. And, every week I put out for my subscribers a little kind of like an audio recording. It's not a podcast really, but kind of like an audio recording for them to kind of lead the discussion through the books. So I am rereading that and working on that to send out to them this weekend. So if you would like to get on my email list, I also send out a weekly newsletter. Last week, I sent out a book list of some Easterish books. Sometimes I do different things on the weekends. I always tell you what's going on at Small Home Comforts, though. So if you are interested in getting on the email list, hearing all the updates, being ready for when the summer box comes out, and getting kind of a weekly newsletter thing, I invite you to join up for that. You can get a free download of a book list there if you'd like to have that. That will be delivered to your inbox if you sign up for my email list, and you just have to go to smallhomecomforts.com to do that. So, Megan says she's here, but she's driving tonight. I'm so glad you came, Megan. Thank you. I understand not being able to text while you're driving, but I appreciate you spending some time with me. It is always nice to have you. So, that is it for tonight. It has, I missed being here with you guys last week. And so I am glad to be back. Of course, I will be back again next week to chat with you about bookish things, to have some tea and some light our candle and get cozy here in the book corner on Thursday night. So thanks everyone for coming. Have a wonderful evening. We'll be talking to you soon. Good night.